Two of our most popular ships are the Avenger and the Cutlass.
Let's say you're ready to upgrade it, but you're not quite ready for that Cutlass life yet. You still need the cargo, you still need the armaments, but you don't want to look like anybody else while you're doing it. That's where the Nomad comes in.
The Nomad is an upgraded starter ship. It has a lot of versatility, it can hold its own in combat, and it holds a decent amount of cargo units.
So the Nomad is essentially a pickup truck that's kind of doing the pickup truck thing differently than all the other manufacturers in the game. And it does it in a way where your cargo is completely exposed on the outside and the angles of your ship are completely unique, and it's also unlike any other ship within that manufacturer's line, right? So it's a departure within that manufacturer to just try something very different, both aesthetically and functionally.
The Nomad is a solid cargo runner at 24 SCU. You can make a pretty decent chunk of change doing cargo runs, and you don't feel like you're wasting your time. It's also a very capable fighter. It's not going to beat a dedicated fighter in a fight, but it can definitely hold its own.
The moment you walk up to the ship, you're going to see, I think the most striking part of it is the fact that it's treated a lot like our Xi'an bike. You're going to notice that it's never touching the ground. It's always hovering, which is super cool, super unique. Then you've got this hatch on the side of it, which has this fully articulating ladder that just kind of pops out and presents itself with movements that feel a little bit organic. So it's kind of juxtaposed against sort of the very chiseled look of the ship. You have all these movements that are super smooth.
It's got 3 size 3 hardpoints for its weapons. These come with all gimbaled laser repeaters. It's also got 4 size 2 missiles on each wing, so a total of 8 size 2 missiles with custom missile racks. It's got a standard array of countermeasures, both chaff and flares, and it's got 2 main thrusters, 2 retro thrusters, and 12 maneuvering thrusters. In the future, when tractor beam technology comes online, the Nomad will come with 1 standard, and it will be able to use that to pull cargo into its hold.
Once you climb in, you're going to be flanked in the left and right by your weapon racks. So you're going to have 2 rifles, 1 on either side of you, highlighted in this like really stark red lighting, so you know where the weapons are immediately. And that'll lead you directly into what we're calling the foyer, and that'll be a few steps below. The moment you walk into that section, you'll be able to see out the back of your cargo bed. We have a window which looks straight out to where your cargo is, and if there is no cargo, you can kind of see out into space. From there, you can also control where your cargo bed is. Here you also have access to your power plant component down the right hallway, and you also have access to your locker where you can store whatever you want, and you've got your toilet. Once you make it past the first kind of bulkhead door, you'll walk into the habitation, and here's where you'll be able to do your napping, your TV watching, you'll be able to do your cooking, and we even have sort of an ottoman that slides into the countertop. That way, if it's not in use, you have a lot more space in the area. When it is in use, it'll kind of pop out and present itself to you, and just hop right over, take a seat, whatever, have a meal, pull it straight out of the microwave, whatever you want to do with it. And then moving forward into the ship, that leads you into the cockpit. So once you hop onto that seat and it takes you into your dashboard view, you have a pretty good view from this ship. It's got some struts there that really kind of hold the glass together, but that really feeds into our chiseled look, so they kind of have to be there as a structural element to hold the whole thing together. But the really cool thing about this dashboard is that it's kind of it's semi wraparound, but it's one giant screen. So there are no physical buttons on this dashboard at all. In addition to that, we've got like a giant glass pane in front of you, which has your HUD and all that stuff. I think it's really cool.
Overall, I think it's a great ship. This is something you probably want to really look into.
While the U.S. vehicle feature team worked to further develop and expand the idea of what it means to be a ship from Consolidated Outland, The Landing Zone content team worked to develop a new convention center for Microtech that looks to improve upon an already impressive IAE experience.
The IAE this year in New Babbage. The expo where we show the latest and greatest of the newest ships and weapons, armor and any gear we have for the game. This is where we show it.
We want the players to feel like this is an event in 2950. I'm an in-game player looking at an expo event rather than something that takes you out of the game. We had the benefit of hindsight, but also the benefit of being able to really plan it from the ground up, so we were able to do things that we weren't able to do before. Something else we've done, and we've actually kind of done it every year or every event, is we kind of swap the artists who work on it out. It enables us to keep it fresh. Obviously I've been the lead on all of them as well, so there is some consistency there. I think it would become kind of stale, you know, if it was the same group every time. We do kind of learn what we've done in the past, learn what worked, learn what didn't work, and try and improve every time. With this, we went back to what does an actual convention look like? London Motor Show I used to go to a lot as a kid. To me, that's quite comparable to like a ship expo.
Basically, one cool thing about it is how we have like modular type of setups. This main big hall with this gigantic ship in the middle and smaller ships next to it to just have this big vista when you get in. We have these side halls to expand if we have more halls that we want to present, and that's the big difference.
So this one had a lot of a design emphasis on the architecture because it was in New Babbage. It's not utilitarian, you know, like Erytine or Lorville.
This year we're going for a super minimalistic vibe. This brings its own challenges with it, because you know the less details you have in an environment, the more any mistake is going to stand out.
When you look at Microtech, all these panel lines, it is the expo hall is not a working area.
It's different. It's more cleaner. It's sleeker, more minimal, because it's really showcasing the ships.
And to convey all of this without getting much into detailing, you have to take care about a lot of materials. So what does the concrete feel like? What does the stone feel like? And where are the panel lines exactly?
So we have to make sure that every corner is as polished as we can get it.
We need to make sure we balance the manufacturers over the whole event, and some manufacturers have many ships. We would have dedicated areas within a day for each one, some halls with many ships. The other thing we've done is make it more flexible in terms of these rooms, and we like to sell it as if it's realistic. So there's a lot of in-law things going on with how we present it, how we do banners and posters and information screens and stuff, and we don't ever want to take you out of that experience. Just to really appreciate the beauty of design of like I said, the emphasis of the ships and the architecture of the space as well, and all the things that come together with these events. Like, we wanted to make it just gorgeous to look at and walk around.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that Nomad is the latest offering from Consolidated Outland for those who want maybe just a little bit more from their starter ships. That space pickup truck is now a thing, and that you can see the Nomad and a whole host of other ships on display at this year's Intergalactic Aerospace Expo on Microtech. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee, and we'll see you next week.